Hi, today's topic of discussion is low calcium, or in the technical term, hypocalcemia. Normal calcium level is between 8.5 to 10.5 milligram per deciliter, and if you are in UK or some other states in the world, so you are using a millimole system. In that case, it's 2.2 to 2.7 millimole per liter. So below 2.2 millimole or below 8.5 milligram per deciliter, that's low calcium. Now, low calcium, what is the cause? What are the signs and symptoms? What will you investigate, and what will be the treatment options? This video is targeting the general public. It's not meant to treat each and every specific patient, and this video is not really for the doctors, because for doctors we go into a lot of detail, and each thing that I am going to talk about, for them it's a separate topic. So let's start with the signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms of hypocalcemia. When the calcium gets low, there is paresthesia, or there is numbness around the face, numbness in the acral parts of the body or the distal parts of the body, in the hands and the feet, that can happen, and generalized feeling of a crawling feeling all over the body can develop. Then the muscle twitching can happen, muscle aches do happen. Then there is a thing called cramp, and the muscles gets a little contracted over the period of time, and then it gets relieved after a certain period. Now, hypocalcemia is one of the causes of cramp. It's not the sole cause, but it's an important one. And if you have recurrent cramps, you should get your calcium checked. Then in addition to it, there are few technical terms that we use for doctors, and Trozius and other signs, but one is Chvostek sign, and carpopedal spasms are different. The hand, once the blood pressure apparatus is put on the arm and it's inflated in full throw, then the arm or the hand gets into this kind of position. Now, this position is due to the spasm in the muscles, and the reason behind it is a little more complicated. You just need to see, if ever you have seen that kind of hand in some of your relatives or near ones. Hypocalcemia is maybe one of the causes, because people do check blood pressure at home, right? Then this is the part, there is a bony part in front of the ear. If you tap here, and there is a numbness feeling or lancinating feeling in that part of the face where I am putting my hands on, or there is a twitch in of muscles over there, that is one of the signs of hypocalcemia. Then the people may develop bronchospasm, or the shortness of breath, the feeling of difficulty in breathing. There may even be wheeze. This is a whistling sound that you feel once somebody is having difficulty in breathing. Some people do have arrhythmias, that the heart does not function in a consecutive or a periodic manner. Heart is functioning in a total discipline. It's getting beat by beat, temporal association of the different beats. It's so precise that if it's get in disordered state, in that case we call it arrhythmia, and that can lead to difficulty in passing the in pushing the blood throughout the circulation of the body, and that may lead to dizziness, feeling of vertigo and things like that, and feeling of palpitations, that your heart, you start feeling your own heart. Usually you go on throughout your day and you don't feel like your heart is pumping, but it's always there. But if you start feeling so, that is called palpitation. And hypocalcemia, or the low calcium, may be one of the causes when you start feeling that kind of palpitation or irregularity within your heart. Then these are mostly symptoms of acute hypocalcemia. If we talk about the chronic hypocalcemia, they are slightly different, because the causes are different. In chronic hypocalcemia, it may be due to hypoparathyroidism. The parathyroid hormone is placed right in front of the neck. There are 4 of them, and I'll talk about them in little detail in the next part of the video. But if they don't work properly, or there is some other cause that has led to prolonged hypocalcemia over the period of years, the calcium can deposit within the brain in an area called basal ganglia, and that can lead to trembling in the fingers, and we call it Parkinsonism. And the people are finding it difficult to write down, they are finding it difficult to capture different things, they are trembling all the time. And some of the people in old age, they tend to lose memory, and the thing is called dementia in that case. So there is an association of that may be a sign of chronic hypocalcemia and due to certain causes. Now, what are the exact causes? It's difficult to come up with an algorithm for general public how to know what are the causes of hypocalcemia, but in general, the investigations done in a patient of hypocalcemia are the calcium is done, the serum albumin is done with it, because serum albumin will let us know if the calcium reported is correct or not. So it's very essential for you to know your serum albumin, and your physician should be doing it. Then vitamin D levels also help you to diagnose what are the causes of hypocalcemia on the back end. Parathyroid hormone, as I have previously mentioned, vitamin D and parathyroid hormone, they are the two wheels of the same bus. So if one of them doesn't function properly, the calcium can go out of the place. Both of these hormones and enzymes, they should be checked, and their level is predictive of a certain cause in different conditions. For example, if hypoparathyroidism or the PTH is low, in that case the parathyroid glands, they may be congenitally absent from the birth, they may not be functional due to some mutations, there may be some infiltrative disorders like local tumor, tuberculosis, or another infiltration due to some diseases. Then there may be some kind of radiation, if God forbid some patient is having some kind of tumor nearby and he or she undergoes some kind of radiation, that can lead to PTH destruction. And in addition to it, if the patient is having thyroid surgery, during that it can be removed, and generally it is preferred that all the PTH, the parathyroid gland should not be removed, and usually they are taken from here and transplanted into the forearm if the major surgery has to be carried out, or parathyroid glands are considered to be having some kind of potential, so they are easily approachable, but sometimes they do get removed by surgery. In that case, the PTH is no more there and the calcium gets low. Hungry bone syndrome is a condition that is associated with it, and the calcium falls precipitously after removing of parathyroid gland that was previously having some kind of problem. Then there may be autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases are where our own body starts to make antibodies against a specific part of our body. Now, our antibodies are supposed to fight foreign organisms, the microorganism, bacteria, viruses and all that. If they attack our own body, that is not really desired. So that may be one of the causes of parathyroid gland destruction. In addition, if the parathyroid gland is up, it's higher than normal, in that case kidney may be the cause. The vitamin D should be checked, and hypovitaminosis D or the decreased vitamin D level is one of the causes of hypocalcemia in this case. Next, if magnesium is just too low, then hypocalcemia or the decreased calcium level, it can also be present. Here I would like to mention that the calcium and magnesium, they are two sides of the same coin. They go hand in hand, and if one of these electrolytes go down, the other one is pulled down. So if the calcium goes down, the magnesium usually goes down, and vice versa. Magnesium goes down, the calcium may go down with it. Along with that, there is a condition called pseudo hypoparathyroidism, in which the patient is short statured and the fingers are relatively small, especially these two ones, and there are some other skeletal abnormalities with it. So renal failure needs to be ruled out, vitamin D needs to be taken into account, magnesium should be checked, and that's about it. In investigations, these 4 things that I have previously mentioned, they are the main things. Other than that, there are so many other imaging and other studies that can be done, and that depend upon the patient history, examination, and the results of the 4 investigations that I have told you. 4 investigations are calcium, albumin, vitamin D, and PTH. If these 4 things are answered, usually your cause of decreased calcium is can be answered. Here I should mention a typical condition called fibromyalgia. In fibromyalgia, there is generalized bone pain, there is feeling of weakness, tiredness, there is pain all over the body, in short. Hypomagnesemia, or the decrease in magnesium level, is associated with it, and the calcium and the vitamin D is being supplemented in these conditions most of the time, but sometimes even by the physician the magnesium is missed. And if you check the magnesium, I have experienced in so many of my patients that the result is really good if you start treating magnesium in these cases. And naturally we are going to talk about magnesium in detail in next week, inshallah. Now regarding treatment, if the calcium is below 7.5, the IV calcium should be given. What salt should be used, what are the rates, they are not really topic of this video. This is just educational video for general public. And for vitamin D deficiency, if it's less than 20, in that case 50,000 international units capsule should be taken once per week for 6 weeks, but only in consultation with your physician. This should not be a self-medication, which is usually the case in so many parts of the world. And then parathyroid hormone, if it's that's abnormal or there is some problem related to that, the treatment should be geared up towards that problem. So I hope I have answered few of the questions that the people had that unfortunately have a low calcium. So if you feel like that some other aspect of hypocalcemia should be touched and a video should be made regarding a specific topic related to these conditions that I am talking about these days, electrolytes, please comment in the section below, and we'll try to come up with the videos to answer your questions. Thank you.